Hi, and thank you for tuning in to Lunch Talk with the Carters. I am your host, Star Carter.
And I am your host, Michael Carter.
And we just come to tell you all that it is time to get the show started. What's up, guys? We are back with all new Lunch Talk with the Carters on this beautiful Friday. We're so glad to have you tuned in to us once again. Lunch Talk with the Carters is brought to you by the Lunch Talk with the Carters couples line. Make sure you check us out, guys, on facebook.com/lunchtalkshow/shop. Got it, babe? Mm-hmm. So today, guys, we told you when we left our show on Monday, after we talked about forgiveness. Yeah, we talked about forgiveness. And so today, guys, we're going to talk about positive thinking in your relationship. Moving from the negative to the positive. Do you have some stinking thinking?
That's a good way to put it, too. Yeah, good way to put it.
So stinking thinking. Do you got some stinking thinking going on in your relationship? Is your mind playing tricks on you? As the ghetto boys used to say back in the day,
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some of y'all young ones, some of y'all young ones might not know about that one, but yeah, the ghetto boys had a song back in the day saying, "My mind playing tricks on me." So is your thinking causing you problems in your relationship? Are you a negative person? Are you a negative Nelly in your relationship? Maybe that's the reason why you're having relationship issues, because that's what Lunch Talk, we tackle relationship issues. So what's going on with you today, Mr. Carter?
Boy, nothing much. Trying to get this little work we got the way.
That's right.
Yes.
So this your weekend
off?
Yes.
Yes.
This your weekend off. So
yes. Okay.
You off today?
Yeah.
You ain't got to go back to Sunday. Yeah. So happy Friday.
Okay. Yeah.
Happy Friday.
Okay. Yeah.
He don't have no sense of time. I had to tell him when he has to go to work, guys. He don't have no. He don't know when. So it's all good. That's what us wives do. We keep him on track. That's right.
Okay.
All right. So positive thinking. You want to take it off, babe?
Yep. Okay. We want to dwell a little bit on positive thinking in a relationship. The reason why we want to talk about that, because, we're always talking about mindfulness and everything, the new mindset that me and my wife are on. We talk about that an awful lot. And, and it's something that, like I said, we're practicing in the work. So we just try to relay that little message, little knowledge that we obtain on to you guys. So, positive thinking. Guys, it's real simple to look for the negative in someone. It's really simple. I mean, when you first meet someone, think about it now. Think about what I'm saying. When you first meet someone or you first see somebody or whatever, what's the first thing pop in your mind? Is it a negative thought or a positive thought? You're going to think some type of negative way about that person, and you don't even know them. It's wired in your mind, and, not just you, probably me too, back until I got on the length of mindset I'm on now. But you're going to look at this person about the way they're dressed, dressed too short, or, pants not ironed. It's going to be something negative. You're not going to say, okay, how are you doing? This seems like he's a nice guy. I mean, it's just, to me, it's like it's embedded to always think negative, because it's so much easier to think negative than positive.
Yeah, that's true. That's scientifically a fact, really, because I'm always reading and studying into the mind of thinking and how our thoughts create our reality. That's something that I studied real deep on, about how your thoughts is, how you think today is going to determine your future. They always say the things that you do today can determine how your future is just by the way that you think. So if you are a negative person all the time, you create the negativity into your life. It's kind of like what we were saying in our other show about not this past show, but maybe the last show about before that, about you are what you attract. Mm-hmm. So if you're a negative person, then you're going to attract negative energy. You're going to attract negativity into your life. So if you think low, you're going to attract low people. Mm-hmm. You're going to attract low things. You're going to attract low relationships, because you can't have a positive mindset and expect to have positive things in your life or positive outcome, positive relationships. It just doesn't work, because it's kind of like electricity when you think about it. The negative and the positive charge, it usually does not work out together. This, even when you put batteries in something, usually like on a charger, they got to be facing the same way. Like on my rechargeable battery things. It's like if you have one going wrong way, none of them will charge. They all got to be facing the same way just to get the positive charge, or they're going to always be in the red. So in order for those batteries to charge, they got to all be in the right way. So that means that they all have to be aligned. And so that's just like us. In order for us to get positive outcomes, we got to always be aligned with positive people. You have to have positivity around you in order for you not to get sucked into a negative, world. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, well, I'm about there too on that same level. But to me, it's just always back to being mindful. Negativity, and like she was just saying, attracts negativity. And that's just the law of attraction. That I mean, it's out there. It's in the universe. We didn't make it, guys. It is what it is. But negative thinking about your mate or negative thinking in your relationship, that can cause a huge rift because of, you're not looking at the positive in the situation. You're always looking at the negative, I mean, your wife can be, controlling person. Okay. But that's the way you can look at it. But you could turn that situation around and say that your wife is a strong person. You see how I turned that around into a positive thing? Like if you have a controlling woman, turn it around and say she's a strong woman, because of the fact that she had to be, so therefore, you can look at it as a controlling situation, or you can look at it as this person is strong and had to stand, in that strong, mindset, and it may comes off as controlling or whatever, but at the same time, it's because this person has to be there. It's turning a negative into a positive.
Yeah, you can always look at something on the brighter side. It's kind of like the glass half empty, half full concept. It's just the way you look at it, how you perceive stuff. So it's kind of like that show that we did, How Do You Perceive Your Mate? Remember?
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. So, guys, to me, are you overthinking it? Do you create problems in your mind, in your relationship? When I think about negative thinking, do you create problems that may not already be there? Do you overthink things?
Oh boy, I've been there. Still fighting that monster too.
Yeah,
because sometimes, me being a cancer, I overthink a lot of things. But yeah, that's good. Yeah,
people overthink things, and when you overthink, that can cause a problem. Are you someone are you a detective? Are you an undercover detective? Because here's the thing, when you're thinking on a low vibration, when you're thinking low, you would do low things, like I was saying before. So if you thinking that your mate, this is for instance, if you think that your mate is cheating on you, or you think your mate is not doing what she's supposed to do or what he's supposed to do, and it may be, you may have fear of infidelity. So if you have a fear of infidelity, you will do stuff that will make you think that they are, even if they aren't. If that makes sense. Because, and I mean, like stuff like checking their social media, you trying to gather up evidence type stuff. You might even be looking at their phone or whatever, or you might be talking to their friends, trying to, whatever you do when you don't trust someone. And because in your mind, you thinking that they're doing something because you got a negative thinking about that person. You don't look at them as being trustworthy, or even if they never gave you a reason to not trust them. Some people just don't trust because they are just, that's their negative way of thinking. So if you don't trust someone, you're going to try to find things in your mind to prove you right. That's what you do. When you think negative about someone, whether it's true or not, you can make something true in your mind. And if you make it true in your mind, can't nobody tell you that you're wrong. Because you've gone the extra,
so true. So true.
You've gone the extra mile to prove your point. Whether they know it, they may not even be aware that you feel that way. They might not even be aware of it. It's just that's how you think. So you automatically think, well, he's a dog, and I'm just going to be gathering up the evidence. So whenever I feel like something is about to come to a head, I got my evidence of all the things that I felt like they were doing that led up to how I feel right now. So you just gathering up evidence, or you gathering up whatever it is that you can use in your mental file cabinet or whatever, on your phone or whatever, that you may have to pull out one day just because of how you're thinking. And it may not even be true. Your mind might be playing tricks on you, like the ghetto boys say. Your mind might be playing tricks on you. And so you sitting there and you're feeding into that demon. You letting the devil use you, as my grandma used to say, you're letting the devil use you in a way that can ruin your relationship if you have that negative mentality about your mate. If you're thinking all the time and you're overthinking everything that they do all the time, then that's what's going to cause that. That's what's going to cause that negative thinking about someone, whether they're doing it or not. It's just how you have programmed yourself to think.
And I agree 100%. That is really well spoken. Negative thinking, that negative thinking will turn into reality to the person that's thinking it. You know, your perception is everything. And if you are that type of person that nobody can tell anything, once you get that into your mind, it's no changing. No one can change it. You know, come hell or high water, your mind will not get changed because that's how you perceive it. It's real to you, even though, like she was just saying, that might not even be the case. That might not even be the case. But negative thinking, you know, it's a thorn in a relationship because, again, you bring back what we were talking about in the last couple of episodes, the mental file cabinet. You know, you start bringing that up when you have this negative thinking. You know, things that they done in the past that should have been kept in the past that you might think that's finna happen again now probably haven't been solved. So that's creating negative thinking in that relationship. Negative thinking. It's just like I was just saying, it's a thorn in your side, in your relationship. That's what it is, because that reality can become reality to that person that's thinking it, whether it's true or not. And that's a big rift.
Oh, yeah. I think, guys, if you're a person that always think negative about your mate, like I said, it goes back to our show that we did about how do you perceive your mate. You have to change the way you think about that person. You got to really change the way you think about that person, because if you think that they are untrustworthy, pigs, you know, they may not be the most tidiest person, so that's get on your nerves, you know, stuff like that. You have to start taking those negatives and making them into positive, like the example my husband gave at the beginning of the show. You have to really turn the way that you think about them away, because here's the thing: what you resist will persist. What you resist will persist. So the way that the universal laws work is what you don't want and what you want, you have to put out what you want. Like attract like. So if you don't want someone to not trust you, then you have to also give trust. It's just like the forgiving. If you want to be forgive, you have to forgive people. So it's the same thing. If you want someone to trust you, if you want somebody to think positive about you, then you have to do the same thing towards them in order to get that same feedback back. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It doesn't work. You can't be negative in your relationship and then expect for them to come at you nice and talk to you the way you want to be talked to and be treated the way you want to be treated. All you're doing is creating a resistance in your relationship, whether it's intimate, family, work, just any type of relationship. Even with your kids. If you're always putting your children down and they can't do anything right, then eventually they're going to believe that. You can't tell your children that they're bad when they're little, because eventually they'll believe it. It's the stuff that you embed into your thinking. When you say those words out loud, those things, you wind up manifesting those type of things into your brain. That's what happened. So that's where the thinking comes into. You have to be conscious and mindful of the words that you say and your reactions and how you act to things. And that's going to determine the type of outcome that you want. So if you don't want a cheating spouse, stop thinking about a cheating spouse. Think about your spouse being loving. Give that same love that you want to receive. Because if you're thinking that your spouse is cheating, all you're doing is asking for it to manifest. That's all you're doing. So you have to correct it. We all may think silly stuff, but if you dwell on it, you're asking for it. The universe doesn't know the difference when it comes to that. With my husband talking about the law of attraction don't know the difference between a negative and a positive. So it doesn't matter. It's just what you're thinking about all the time. If you're thinking lack and scarcity, that's what you're going to get. You're going to get lack and scarcity. That means you're going to lack money. You're going to lack love. You're going to lack whatever it is, because that's what you're dwelling on all the time. If that's what you're dwelling on, that's what you're going to get. So if you want positive outcomes, you got to think positive. Period. That's it. You got to think positive. And I know you're like, well, everybody, you know, you're going to have bad days. Anybody saying you're not going to have bad days. It's just how you approach them, and you don't let them manifest and just live inside of you all the time. And I was listening to a YouTube video earlier where this guy said that it's people that actually go out seeking for stuff to happen to them. How sad is that? Do you have a friend that gets up angry and go out looking for trouble? There's people that actually go out looking for trouble. They wake up with a grudge. They wake up wishing a blank would. Yeah, that is people that's like that, and they're negative people, and therefore they always attract those negative things to them. And then they always want to say, "I always have the worst luck." Oh, that type of stuff is always going to happen to me. No, it does not have to happen to you. It's how you think. You attracting it to you. You bringing that type of negativity into your life. That's why you getting it. You keep getting it. Just like if you keep thinking that your spouse is not doing you right or not treating you right, you're going to keep getting it because you don't see them any other way. You don't think of them any other way. You don't think of them in a higher regard than the way you see them. And the way you have programmed yourself to see them. So if you don't see them in a positive light, guess what? You're going to keep getting what you've been getting. In order to get something different, you got to do different stuff. You got to think differently.
Yep. Positive thinking, turning that negative thought into a positive thought. That's what the show is about today. And that was a real good point that my wife just made. Real excellent point. I mean, what you give out is actually what's going to manifest. I mean, that's the mindset we're on. And, you know, for a lot of you guys that don't know, it's the law of attraction. So if you thinking your mate is out there doing something that he or she is not doing, guess what? No matter what nobody say, no matter proof what you have, no matter what the case may be, she's cheating or he's cheating because that's in your mind. That's the negative thinking that you're doing, and you can't be persuaded. Trust me. Been there years ago. I know that's a tough thing to deal with too. So positive thinking. Here's a little test, guys, that I think we mentioned in one of our earlier shows. Been about a month or so ago, probably. I'm not for sure, but just take out a sheet of paper, okay? Just sit back and just write down what you think about your mate. You know, the positive and the negative. The positive and the negative. Okay, hopefully it'll be more positive than negative, but you know, sometimes it's vice versa. But positive and the negative. And if the positive outweigh the negative, guys, sometimes you need to turn all those little smaller negative things into some of those positive things that you have on your list over there. For example, like I gave you earlier, you know, if your wife is a controlling person, just change that. My wife is a strong person, you know, just change it. Or she's nagging. No, maybe she's concerned. You know, just turning those things around, because what your mate is doing is not always negative. Male or female, it's not always negative. You're perceiving it to be negative. So that's where that negative thinking coming in. That's what we're talking about today. That negative thought, that negative thinking, that's going to make it what it is. No matter what's reality, it's going to be what it is, because that's perceived in your mind, perception, negative thinking.
All right, guys, we're about to get out of here. This was a great topic today about positive thinking. You got anything else you want to say, babe?
No, that's about it, huh?
All right, guys. So as always, we appreciate you tuning in to Lunch Talk with the Carters, and just be mindful of how you are putting out your energy. You want to make sure that you are putting out as much positive energy as you can in your relationships, not just intimate relationships, but with your children, with your family, at work, because that's the type of, you want to get the positive energy back. So whatever you're sending out, you want to get that back. So just think about that. If you don't want negative stuff coming back to you, then don't send it out there in the world. All right. So that's basically what we were talking about today. So thank you guys again for tuning in. You can listen to the show on Radio Public, because when you listen to our show on Radio Public, you are financially supporting Lunch Talk with the Carters. And always, we appreciate each and every one of you that listen to our show. Make sure that you're checking out our Lunch Talk with the Carters couples line. You can go to our Facebook page at facebook.com/lunchtalkshow/shop. so you can get your king and queen collection on. We are adding stuff to the store on a weekly basis, so make sure you're checking in, because you may not see something that you like now, but like I said, we're adding more stuff to the shop, as well as some more collections that's going to come. So we got some really nice fall stuff that we picked out that we're going to be putting into the store as well. All right, guys, and make sure that you check us out. We're on Spotify, iTunes, iHeartRadio, Google Play, YouTube, Overcast, Castbox, a whole bunch of them. Just look us up, Lunch Talk with the Carters, and make sure that you follow and subscribe on your favorite platform. Babe, you sure you don't have anything else you want to say before we end the show?
No, that'll do it.
All right, guys, y'all have a great weekend, okay?
All right, peace.
Peace.